Okay, let's just unpack this right away. If you have been anywhere near social media this week, your phone, your browser, every alert was just screaming one thing.
Oh, you couldn't miss it. It was everywhere.
This intense, really attention-grabbing headline, and it was delivered with so much drama. Travis Kelce announces retirement.
All caps on announces, of course.
Of course, and this wasn't some, subtle rumor. This was a high-production video. It was flying around everywhere, claiming the final curtain call was dropping right now.
And the chaos, the panic across Chiefs Kingdom and really the entire league, it was immediate.
Absolutely.
And that sensationalism, that engineered panic, that's exactly the noise we are here to cut through. Our mission today is really laser focused.
Right.
We have to separate that rumor mill, which is feeding off some very real anxiety, from the cold, hard facts of Kelce's career and where he stands right now.
Because the facts are complicated. You're looking at a legendary player. He's 36 years old, wrapping up his 13th NFL season.
And crucially, with a contract that is set to expire at the end of this year.
And the context for this rumor is what makes the tension just feel so incredibly acute, isn't it?
It really is. The backdrop is everything here.
You've got the Kansas City Chiefs, a team that's basically defined this era of the NFL, and they're limping toward their season finale against, of all teams, the Raiders.
They're bitter rivals.
They're sitting at a 6-10 record. They're out of the playoffs for the first time since 2014. That disappointment casts this huge shadow over what could be a superstar's exit.
So this game on Sunday at Arrowhead, even though it's, meaningless in the standings, is now being framed as this potentially monumental final curtain call.
Yeah.
And this is the immediate insight you need to understand. Why this decision, or even just the rumor of this decision, gets global attention right now, even if you don't follow football closely.
It's bigger than the sport.
It has completely transcended the field. It's not just about a great tight end hanging up his cleats anymore. It's about evaluating a multi-layered legacy.
A legacy of sports dominance, for sure, but also philanthropy and this just massive pop culture influence.
Exactly. When a player's platform gets this big, retirement stops being a sporting event. It becomes a global cultural moment.
Absolutely. So let's dive into that core conflict then. The argument that's fueling this whole retirement frenzy.
Well, it all starts with the calendar and the contract, right? For a skill position player, 36 is. It's practically ancient history.
Especially one who relies on quickness and taking hits.
Right. And you combine that age with an expiring contract, so there's no guaranteed money waiting for him next season, and you have the perfect storm for this kind of speculation.
And then you throw in the team's performance.
You add that disappointing 6-10 record, and it creates a scenario where a veteran could very logically just say, you know what? The championship window I was here for seems closed.
And I don't want to stick around for a rebuild.
Exactly. The team context provides a very convenient backdrop for an exit.
But I have to push back on that too old narrative because the 2024 season tells a very different story.
Okay.
A skeptic would look at the stats. 73 catches, 839 yards, 5 touchdowns, and say that's a clear decline from his peak, like the 110 catches he had in 2022.
And on paper, they wouldn't be wrong. The raw numbers are down, yes. But that's where you have to look deeper.
So how do the sources, the ones screaming about his dominance, address that statistical drop?
It's all about context and efficiency. You have to consider the defensive strategies that are aimed squarely at him every single week. He's seeing constant double teams.
Bracket coverage, safety help over the top, everything.
Everything. It's all designed to force Mahomes to look somewhere else. So the sources describe his performance this year not by the numbers, but by what you see on the tape.
The elite bursts.
The elite burst and that uncanny ability to create separation. It's not just raw speed anymore. It's about expert route running, subtle shifts, pure football IQ. He's still incredibly productive despite all that attention.
And the fact that he's done that, even with the team struggling and all that defensive focus, allowed him to hit a massive franchise milestone this year.
A huge one.
He broke the all-time Chiefs record for career touchdowns. He hit 85, passing guys who defined that franchise for decades.
Which really confirms that he is, without a doubt, the cornerstone of the modern Kansas City Chiefs.
He just is.
And this brings us to a really critical question for you to think about. If he is still performing at this level, if he's still a game-changing weapon.
And what is this all about?
What does this urgent, media-driven retirement narrative truly reflect? It reflects the intense and frankly unfair pressure we put on aging superstars.
We expect them to just fall off a cliff.
We do. We expect a steep statistical decline where you can see them slowing down. And when that doesn't happen, the narrative shifts from he'll retire when he's bad to he must retire now while he's still great to protect the legacy.
Wow, that's a fascinating insight. It's like the world is trying to write his ending for him.
Instead of letting him write it himself.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit and talk tactics. Because beyond the stats, his value in Andy Reid's offense is, well, it's arguably irreplaceable.
What's so interesting is how he's the pivot point for that whole offense. Coach Reid, who is an offensive genius,
Undeniably.
designs plays specifically to exploit the advantages Kelce still has. He's the ultimate mismatch nightmare, and we should probably unpack what that actually means.
Yeah, let's do that.
At 6'5", 250 pounds, he has the agility of wide receiver, so he's way too fast for a traditional linebacker to cover.
Right.
But then, he has the strength and the frame to just box out and run through smaller safeties. There's no good answer for him.
He's the security blanket for Patrick Mahomes. The sources all say that, especially when the protection breaks down, which it did more this year.
Precisely. He's that vital safety valve Mahomes trusts, especially on third down or when the pocket is collapsing. And this brings us to a key metric the sources highlight.
Is why he said
His yards after catch. He is still averaging around 5.5 yards after the reception.
And for you listening, that's not just a number.
Not at all. YAC, for a player his age, is a direct measure of three things. Field vision, balance through contact, and just a willingness to be physical right after the catch.
Those are things that don't just fade away like pure speed does.
Exactly. It's football IQ and toughness.
Yeah.
Maintaining a YAC like that at 36 tells you his processing speed and his strength are still absolutely elite. That consistency is irreplaceable.
That really grounds his performance in some sophisticated analysis, but we can't ignore the team struggles. That 6-10 record is a symptom of something deeper.
For sure. And Chris Jones, a leader on that defense, he even said publicly that the team chemistry felt a tad off this season.
That's a telling quote.
Jones's comment points to the bigger picture. Last year, the Chiefs were a fine-tuned machine. This year, the sources point to a bunch of issues. Injuries on the O-line, some tough losses.
And younger players not quite filling the voids left by veterans.
Right, there was a stretch where the offense just felt disjointed, struggling to find any rhythm outside of Mahomes throwing to Kelce.
And the drop in offensive output is just stark. Last year, they were averaging 28 points a game on their way to a Super Bowl.
A juggernaut.
This year, just 21 points a game. And that dip, whether you blame the line or receiver, drops. It just makes Kelce's consistent, efficient production even more remarkable.
It really suggests he was often the only part of the engine that was firing correctly.
Yeah.
And to really appreciate his decision, whatever it is, you have to understand the history of the franchise he now defines.
A deep, powerful legacy. They started in 1960 as the Dallas Texans before moving.
Moved to Kansas City in '63. And the history is full of icons.
You think of Len Dawson at quarterback or the linebacker Derek Thomas, who was just pure ferocity.
And the analysis specifically notes that Kelce kind of pays homage to Thomas with that same aggressive mindset. He runs routes like he's trying to punish the guy covering him.
He's woven himself into that story.
And that story includes Arrowhead Stadium, legendary place.
Yeah.
Opened in 1972, holds a Guinness World Record for crowd noise.
Over 142 decibels, which is insane.
And that noise is always loudest when the Raiders are in town. That rivalry goes back to the very beginning. So for Kelce, who just broke the franchise TD record, leaving now means walking away from a stadium and a rivalry he has helped define.
Okay, let's pivot now, because there's this whole other dimension to his legacy that takes him beyond the stats and into a totally different stratosphere.
His humanitarian work and his pop culture impact.
Exactly. The analysis makes it so clear he isn't just an athlete, he's a really dedicated philanthropist with a massive platform.
And that's a critical distinction when you're thinking about his future options.
Yeah.
Through his 87 and Running Foundation, he's put so much time and money into helping disadvantaged youth.
In education, athletics, STEM, the arts, it's not just writing a check.
No, it's deep strategic involvement in the community.
And the standout project has to be the Ignition Lab at Operation Breakthrough in Kansas City. He personally funded this whole thing.
A workforce development center for teens. I mean, that's not a simple donation. That's giving kids tangible tools, digital literacy, career skills to build a future. It's a real lasting impact.
Right in the heart of the community.
And this off-field work, it's gotten the highest possible recognition. He's been nominated for the Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year Award 3 times.
Including this year, 2024. And that's not some team award. That's the gold standard for the entire league.
It is.
And right now, the Chiefs are making this massive, urgent push for him to win the fan vote part of it. They're mobilizing everyone on social media.
That's you, the listener.
Pleading for votes in the charity challenge. And the clock is ticking on that. Voting ends on Monday.
That immediacy is so key to the whole narrative right now. The winner gets $35,000 for their charity, and he was leading as of Wednesday.
So this highly visible charity push is cementing his off-field legacy at the exact same moment these retirement rumors are peaking.
This is a fascinating convergence.
Now, let's talk about the thing that elevates him from star athlete to, like, a global celebrity, the New Heights podcast with his brother Jason.
Which is a phenomenon. It's huge.
He's hosted Saturday Night Live. He's comfortable way outside the sports bubble.
And then, of course, there's the factor that has just amplified his platform exponentially. The high-profile romance with Taylor Swift.
Right.
The sources note this has dramatically increased the NFL's visibility. It's turned Chiefs games into must-see events for people who never cared about football before.
This mix of sports and entertainment it's just unprecedented. It adds so much commercial weight to whatever he decides to do next.
Which leads to a pretty fundamental question.
Does all that success, New Heights, the visibility from the Swift relationship, does that make retirement easier for him or harder?
The analysis points pretty strongly toward easier and, maybe even strategically preferable.
His platform is bigger than the game itself now.
Arguably, yes. He can pivot from being a physical laborer, which is what an NFL player is, to being a media mogul and a global brand ambassador.
With a much longer shelf life.
And a much lower physical cost. His earning power in media and endorsements could easily surpass what he'd make playing another 1 or 2 high-risk seasons. It changes the entire calculation.
So let's bring this all the way back around. We started with this shocking, urgent claim. Travis Kelce is retiring now. And we've tried to separate the facts from that frenzy.
And the structural facts are undeniable. He's 36, his contract is expiring, his team had a bad year.
But the counterfacts are overwhelming. He's still playing at an elite level, backed by those YSC numbers. He's still the centerpiece of the offense.
And his humanitarian work is peaking, with him leading that Man of the Year vote. It's all happening at once.
His career has defined a generation. Drafted in 2013, fought back from a bad knee injury as a rookie, became a 12-time Pro Bowler, a 4-time All-Pro, won 3 Super Bowls.
So what, for you, the listener, is that we are watching the final, most impactful chapter of a legend's career. And it's happening under a spotlight that has never, ever been brighter.
Which forces us to rethink the whole premise of the rumor.
Exactly. Given that the source material framed this as an urgent crisis, what if we look at the evidence differently? His route running, his YAC, his massive off-field platform.
What if it all suggests he's already moved past needing to chase stats?
What if the question isn't, can he still play? But rather, why should he? He might just be choosing how to manage the final, most impactful transition of his career.
And that's the provocative thought we want to leave you with. How does a modern legend transition when the spotlight he's stepping into off the field is actually brighter than the one he's leaving? Thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive.